This statement could probably stir a lot of debate, but Volume 4 of the first-year arc is still one of the strongest contenders to sit on the Classroom Elite Top 5 best volumes ever published. Not only because Volume 4 is the volume where Karuizawa Kei's story made its debut, but also because Volume 4 managed to take Volume 3 hype to the next level. After Volume 3 delivered a very good premise about the special exam and the 4-class battle, Volume 4 immediately gave us another special exam without taking any break. Ryuin still becomes the main antagonist in this volume, but this volume also explores another class leader such as Ichinose and Katsuragi. Ryuin has set a really high standard for the class leader, and while Katsuragi doesn't take meaningful action, Ichinose manages to make a grand debut of her leadership. This volume manages to give every important character a chance to shine, and I pretty much like how this volume shapes Ayanokoji's character. However, it's clear that the central focus of this volume is none other than Karuizawa Kei. After the first 3 volumes wrote her as some unbearable character who is simply annoying and pathetic, this volume really changed how we see her character. Karuizawa Kei's story is scary, disturbing, and makes you want to pat her head with every inch of love in your heart. While I do think what happened to her is a bit exaggerated, we as the reader immediately become fond of her character because it explains very well why she needs to act so bossy in front of other people, because she tries to hide the weakness in her heart. However, Volume 4 is not a story where a charming prince will come to save her from her misery, but a whole new suffering to add on to Karuizawa Kei trauma. I don't know if it's good luck or bad luck for Kei to meet Ayanokoji, but the way Ayanokoji decides to handle Kei is proof that he is not a typical hero protagonist that will save and protect everyone, but a perfectly chaotic neutral character who only cares about himself. I cannot say the way Ayanokoji solved Kei's problem is perfect, but his method is unique and perfectly suited his character. He didn't cure Kei trauma and let her free like a hero would do, but he directed Kei parasitism toward himself and made her dependent on him. Even though Kei bullying is already a dark enough story for a teenager, Ayanokoji showed even darker eyes that completely devour it. With that method, he managed to get a perfect tool to gather information and control the class. And now let's talk about the class leader, because this volume did a really good job of showing that they are not a simple stepping stone to make Ayanokoji look better. We have seen Ryuin in action in Volume 3, and even though he suffered defeat in that exam, this volume showed us that one single defeat is not affecting him in the slightest, but instead turning him to become sharper and more ferocious to bite his opponent. We didn't get much action from Ryuin in this volume because he is not in the same group as Ayanokoji, but the exam result clearly told us that he is not the type who will just sit in silence, but will take every possible action to achieve victory. Even though this volume doesn't explain how Ryuin was able to achieve the victory, we will later learn that he already spread his influence toward the other classes, and it gives him more points on the villain tier list. Next we have Ichinose, and I really love how this volume handles her character and observation. Ichinose was always written as a good girl with a perfect smile and social contribution, but not only does this volume still maintain that personality, we also get to see the calculated side of Ichinose when she manages to expose Ayanokoji's plan. This scene is important because so far we have seen that Ayanokoji's plan is always flawless and nobody could touch him, but by letting his plan get exposed by Ichinose, it told us that even Ayanokoji is not perfect, and the class leaders are not as weak as we feared them to be, so the excitement for competition will keep growing. Ichinose managed to keep up with the high standard that Ryuin had set, but I cannot say the same with Horikita and Katsuragi. I don't like how Horikita is doing absolutely nothing in this volume, and she didn't even take advantage to socialize after Ayanokoji gave her a boost of popularity from the island exam. As for Katsuragi, he is simply playing defense as someone in the high place should be. While his action is understandable, it just feels lacking compared to Ryuin or Ichinose. The Zodiac exam is the first exam that requires students from all classes to gather and talk, and it's very refreshing to see all kinds of characters from each class because they represent their class as a whole. For example, Class D is hopeless, Class C is full of rough-tempered students, Class B is easygoing, and Class A is arrogant. This exam managed to give us a rough idea about each class, and the way the exam ended with the Ryuin class achieving victory is perfect to announce that the competition has finally started. The threats are getting stronger from each side, but Ayanokoji is also getting stronger with Kei on his hand, and that's why this volume is perfect to handle the hype from Volume 3, and also make the readers keep excited for the future. Although this volume is not perfect, and also too dark for a certain age range, it is still one of the best volumes in the history of Classroom Elite.